Hi, I'm Nancy Bell, the Reader's Advisory Librarian here at Oshkosh Public Library, and this is the first video in our Freedom to Read video series. So next week is Banned Books Week, and the first week of our Freedom to Read programs here at Oshkosh Public Library. So to start off our conversations about censorship, intellectual freedom, book banning, I thought it would be best to first talk about what these terms actually are, especially as there are conflicting things being said about them in the media. So some news outlets are saying, whoa, book banning has increased significantly, while other news sources are saying, actually, book banning is over-reported. So hopefully I can provide a clear understanding about the words that are being used, and then you can decide for yourself. So I want to make it clear that the definitions for the terms that I'm using comes from the American Library Association, aka the ALA. It's usually the ALA definitions that are used when we're discussing the statistics broadly. It is the ALA that has been coming out with the top 10 most challenged book list since 2001. So generally if you're seeing something online or in the news about top 10 most challenged books or things about Banned Books Week, it's coming from the ALA, so I thought it would be most appropriate to use their definitions. And as it seems to be the most controversial word, let's start with it. Ban. So a ban is the removal of materials from a library collection or school curriculum. So physically taking books off of the shelf or simply crossing that book off of a required reading list. It's all classified as a ban. And if material is removed temporarily in a quarantine due to a challenge, also counts as a ban. And quick note, I'm frequently asked, how can they say that a book is banned? I can get that book at any bookstore, or I can check that out at my library. So as far as I'm aware, there's really only been one main law that stopped obscene material from being widely distributed, like federally enforced. And this would be the Comstock Act of 1873. There were other laws passed as well, but they're all generally grouped under like a heading of Comstock laws. And the Comstock Act was enforced really up until 1965, so not really that long ago in the scope of things. And it was also that law that interestingly led to the U.S. Postal Service burning copies of James Joyce's Ulysses. So generally speaking, banning is done at more of a local level, meaning that like individual public libraries or school districts make the decision whether or not books will be removed from their specific location. For example, so Ulysses, it could be removed from the Oshkosh Area School District curriculum, but it could still be available on the Oshkosh Public Library bookshelves or even still in the Neenah Joint School District curriculum. And like I said earlier, so we're celebrating banned book weeks, right? Are we really only celebrating books that have been banned? No, we're celebrating all of the books that have been challenged or banned. And we're really just calling attention to this issue. So what exactly is a challenged book? So a challenge is an attempt to have a material, resource, or a program removed or restricted. And I do want to note that there is a difference between a complaint and a challenge, and both are fully within your rights to do so. A complaint is just an expression of concern about a program, service, or material, and not all complaints result in a challenge. And if you do have concerns, please talk to a librarian or a teacher about them. If you wish to escalate your concerns to a challenge, there is absolutely a procedure to do that. Usually it's called a reconsideration procedure or policy, and that's what is called here at Oshkosh Public Library. So back to it, we do have challenges, which are the attempt to remove materials, and then bans, which are the actual removal of materials. So what are we talking about when we're talking about censorship? So censorship is this big, broad umbrella term that includes any suppression, exclusion, removal, or restriction of ideas and information. So we're talking about taking physical items off of the shelf, cutting material from curriculum, as well as restriction. So for example, requiring students to have parental waivers in order to check out certain materials, or only allowing certain age groups to check out those materials. Those are both restriction requirements and can be defined as censorship. Now there's also the difference between official bans and challenges, which follow a policy and procedure and are what I call institutional censorship, because it's actually the institution removing or restricting access to these materials. There's also censorship that has been described as silent censorship, or what I refer to as individual censorship, which is when a singular person or group of people do not follow the official guidelines of the institution, and they really take it upon themselves to remove others' access to materials because they don't agree with it. And so this is ripping pages out, crossing words out, stealing books, all so that other people don't have access to them. This also includes people who should be purchasing materials. It could be, not buying certain materials because of your personal belief, or not buying materials because you fear others' perspective on those materials. And all of that is considered individual or silent censorship. And we're also hearing the term intellectual freedom out in the public sphere more and more now. It's always been used in the academic library world, so I'm pretty familiar with it, but I'm glad to hear that it's out in the public view more and more now. So intellectual freedom is the right of every individual to both seek and receive information from all points of view without restriction. So this is an extension of our First Amendment right to freedom of expression. It is really a cornerstone of public library service in facilitating free and open access to information. So this right to informational access is really what we're celebrating the entire month of October here at Oshkosh Public Library with our Freedom to Read programs. We have the citywide scavenger hunt where we're hiding 5 titles that have been challenged or banned. 50 copies of them will be hidden in the city. We also have a week of book discussions coming up, I want to say the 3rd week of October. And we also have more weekly videos to come. If you have any questions about the terms we went over today or other terms maybe I left out, please leave a comment or connect with us at the library. We're available via phone, chat, or email, or if you want to have a discussion in person, we're available for that too. I'll include a link to our Freedom to Read webpage in the description below. And please follow the library Facebook page. That's where we'll be posting our daily clues for the scavenger hunt that starts on Monday. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week.